Hey guys, and welcome to Cool Vision. In this video, we're going to be talking about New York City, often called the least American city. No wonder 55% of households here don't own a car. It's the most populated city in the United States, with 8.8 million residents and about 20 million people living in the metro area. Let's learn more about New York City. New York City is situated on a large natural harbor and is composed of 5 boroughs: the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island, and of course Manhattan. 2 blocks down and take a right. A block has a literal meaning here because almost all streets are perpendicular, forming a clear grid. Only the southern tip of the island breaks this neat geometry, with streets that don't follow the grid and with Broadway running diagonally across Manhattan. The Commissioner's Plan of 1811 was the original design that established this rectangular street layout. It's pretty convenient. The basic thing to remember is that avenues run north-south while streets run east-west. Everything is so compact and congested that you barely notice how far you've walked. Every new intersection brings something fresh and exciting. To better understand the city, let's take a quick look at its history. New York traces its origins to a Dutch trading post founded in 1624 at the southern tip of Manhattan Island. They named it New Amsterdam. 40 years later, in 1664, the English took control and renamed it New York after King Charles II granted the land to his brother, the Duke of York. Then came the War of Independence and the signing of the Peace Treaty. British troops eventually sailed back home, and in 1785, New York became the capital of the United States for 5 years. The city soon grew into a major industrial and financial center. Manhattan expanded northward with massive bridges and the rise of the first skyscrapers. The New York Stock Exchange even surpassed London's. Throughout the 19th century, New York's population exploded from 60,000 to 3.4 million. In 1886, the city's most iconic symbol, the Statue of Liberty, was erected on a small island near Manhattan. It was a gift from France. Immigrants from all over Europe arrived in huge numbers: Italians, Irish, Jews, and Russians. By 1925, New York had become the largest city in the world. In 1952, its global importance grew even further when the United Nations headquarters were completed. Now let's take a look at the 5 boroughs, starting with Manhattan. Manhattan Island is divided into Lower Manhattan, Midtown, and Uptown. Times Square is the main tourist destination in Midtown, famous for its enormous billboards. It got its name in 1904 when the New York Times moved its headquarters to the newly built Times Building, now known as One Times Square. Today, a Times Square billboard can cost anywhere from $5,000 to $50,000 per day. This place is always packed day and night, but honestly, it's far more impressive after dark. It's fun to sit and watch the crowds and the endless ads flashing around. If you enjoy big crowds and street performances, you're going to love it. It truly lives up to its nickname, the city that never sleeps. Oh, and by the way, see those ATVs? Yeah, that's illegal. The NYPD has been cracking down on unauthorized dirt bikes and ATVs, seizing 565 of them in just the past 3 months. But we'll talk more about crime in New York later in this video. Now, let's head to Central Park. It's the most famous city park in the world, a peaceful place to escape the noise during the day. It's entirely man-made and features several artificial ponds, 2 ice rinks, and even a zoo. Yes, the same zoo from which the animals escape in the movie Madagascar. We're in the heart of New York City, Central Park, guys. This is the most visited urban park in the United States, welcoming 42 million visitors a year. On top of that, it's the most popular filming location in the world, which is exactly why I'm filming my video here. Central Park has everything: street musicians, sports grounds, horse-drawn carriages, and even unique historic monuments you wouldn't expect to find here, like the obelisk, also known as Cleopatra's Needle, which was brought from Egypt. It's roughly 3,500 years old. There is also a wide variety of landscapes, from meadows and woodlands to open lawns. And there's always someone practicing yoga, meditating, or simply reading a book. We walked across the park from south to north and exited on the northern side. This is where Harlem begins, an area with a rather dubious reputation. I know. People kept telling me it's fine, it's been gentrified, it's safe. In fact, gentrified was the most common word I heard throughout my entire US road trip. There's no denying Harlem has improved, so you can imagine what it looked like in the 70s and 80s. But even today, residents of East Harlem still see crime as their biggest concern. There are still many gangs in Harlem today. On a positive note, Harlem is known for its jazz clubs, soul food, nightlife, and African American heritage. 125th Street is considered the main street of Harlem. It's home to the Apollo Theater, a legendary venue for African American performers where Stevie Wonder, Billie Holiday, Diana Ross, and other major artists started their careers. In West Harlem, you'll find the magnificent Cathedral Church of St. John the Divine on Amsterdam Avenue, as well as several colleges and universities, including Columbia University, one of the most prestigious institutions in the US. Okay, back to Central Park. There really is something for everyone here. Whether you're going for a casual walk, having a picnic, or jogging, there's no denying New Yorkers love their park, and squirrels do too. What's it like living in New York these days? I think New York's a great place to live. In some ways, maybe this sounds a little arrogant, you feel like you're in the middle of the world. Culturally, in business, diversity, there's a lot to explore. The bad things, it's kind of a hassle. It's very crowded, it's expensive, it's dirty, but at the end of the day, I think it's worth it. It's a nice place to live. Like many people, we moved to New York for our careers, to try to get ahead. I work in finance and she works in tech. I work in tech. Oh, cool. Those are two of the big industries here. We live in a fairly small apartment, 1 bathroom, 5th floor walk-up, and we pay about $2,500 a month. I think that's considered pretty inexpensive for New York. And I imagine you don't have a car? No, we don't have a car, but I want a car. I like cars a lot, but it's really hard to justify the expense. We're in Central Park, New York City. Are you a local? I wasn't born here, but I've lived here for many years. I work as a photographer, actually. Name 3 things you love about living in New York City. Well, the whole world lives here. That's number 1. When you can't travel, you're still meeting people from around the world, like the 2 of you. Number 2, it's part of the harbor, part of the ecosystem, the estuary. On good days you can walk or bike to the Hudson River and smell the ocean. And third, it's the cultural capital of the Western world. The Big Apple's most famous street is 5th Avenue. It cuts through Manhattan from north to south and is one of the most expensive streets in the world. There are so many interesting things here: the world-famous Apple Store, Trump Tower with the BLM mural in front of it, the Flatiron Building, St. Patrick's Cathedral, a beautiful Catholic cathedral built in 1878, the Empire State Building, and much more. The section of 5th Avenue between 34th and 60th Street is filled with boutique shops and high-end luxury stores. This is the same stretch where Audrey Hepburn stood on the sidewalk, staring into a jewelry store window in Breakfast at Tiffany's. This is the center of the financial universe, Wall Street. Bankers and stock traders rush to their offices early in the morning. The city's securities industry represents more than 163,000 jobs, with an average salary of $422,000 a year. Impressive. This is where you'll find the headquarters of J.P. Morgan Chase, Citigroup, and other financial giants. The New York Stock Exchange and the Nasdaq, the world's largest stock exchanges, are both located here. This is the famous New York Stock Exchange. If you happen to own some American stocks, this is where they're traded. I own some stocks myself, so I wanted to see what was going on. On Wall Street, you will also find Trinity Church and Federal Hall. This is where, in 1789, George Washington was officially proclaimed the first president of the United States. If you're bullish on stocks, take a picture with the famous Charging Bull, a bronze sculpture symbolizing a bullish market, financial optimism, and prosperity. Nearby is another statue, Fearless Girl, which promotes female empowerment. To get great views of Lower Manhattan, just take a ferry. Many locals use it every day. It's very affordable and enjoyable. If you're looking for some awesome views of the city, you might want to check out the best observatories. First is the Empire State Building, a 102-story Art Deco skyscraper that provides stunning panoramic views. It was the tallest building in the world from 1931 to 1970. From here, you can see the Chrysler Building, considered by many to be one of New York's finest. Next is the Top of the Rock Observatory, on top of Rockefeller Center. Built by the Rockefellers in the 1930s, it has an ocean liner-style design and offers a 360-degree view of all of Manhattan. Third is the highest observation point, One World Trade Center, the tallest skyscraper in New York and in the entire United States. The observatory is completely enclosed and offers a full 360-degree view. One of the newer additions is the Edge, located at Hudson Yards, which features an outdoor observation deck with a glass floor. Sadly, we didn't get a chance to visit because it was too foggy that day. Also at Hudson Yards, you can visit the Vessel, a 16-story structure of connected staircases. It has a very cool shape and reminds me of a beehive. Another great idea for beautiful views is taking the funicular ride to Roosevelt Island. This small island sits in the middle of the East River between Manhattan and Queens. Today, it's just another residential part of the city. This is the Queensboro Bridge, and we are in Roosevelt Island. To get here, you can take a cable car that is part of New York City's public transportation system, and the fare is the same as the subway, $2.75. An interesting fact: during British colonial rule, the whole island belonged to one family, the Blackwells, and it was called Blackwell's Island. Today, it's simply another residential neighborhood. But the most exciting thing for me was taking a helicopter ride. If you're wondering how much it costs, it was $300 for 30 minutes. What's cool about it is that the helicopter had no doors. If you can afford it, go for it. At first, I thought the ride would be shaky, but it turned out to be very smooth, like sitting in a car. On top of that, the city has over 50 rooftop bars, popular for romantic dates and celebrations. New York City is the third city in the world with the most skyscrapers, after Shenzhen and Hong Kong, and rooftop bars are extremely popular here. You basically get an observation deck and a bar in one package. It seems I got a pocket full of dreams. Baby, I'm from New York. Greenwich Village, or just the Village, is an upscale area that was once the center of Bohemian culture and various political movements, artists, and writers. Rainbow flags show the neighborhood's LGBT-friendly vibe. At its heart is Washington Square Park. Musicians, skateboarders, dog owners, chess players, and NYU students all gather around the historic fountain in the shadow of the arch. The park is often used as a filming location for movies and TV shows. I thought it was a very pleasant area, but we noticed a huge police presence on both sides. I asked what was going on, thinking there must be an event, but they said it can be a rough area, especially at night, which was unexpected. New York is full of surprising places. For example, if you're a fan of Sex and the City, this is where Carrie Bradshaw lived, and where she ran down the stairs to catch a taxi. I also saw some NYU students protesting and wanted to know what their demands were, so I went to talk to them. The graduate workers at NYU are on strike right now, and they're demanding fair compensation, better health care, and getting cops and immigration officers like ICE off campus is important to protect international and immigrant students. Since the 20th century, Soho has been home to many art galleries. Today, it's an affluent neighborhood with cobblestone streets, elegant cast-iron facades, designer boutiques, and high-end art galleries. It's actually one of the top shopping and nightlife destinations. Directly next to Soho, you'll find Chinatown and Little Italy. Manhattan's Chinatown feels like real China, with its numerous green grocers, fishmongers, tea rooms, and dim sum parlors. Since the 1850s, this area has been inhabited by Chinese immigrants. Today, New York has the largest Asian population, more than San Francisco and Los Angeles combined. Being a minority, they're still doing pretty well for themselves. How's that possible? The secret is a strong work ethic. These areas also have a higher rate of college-educated residents and lower crime rates. How do you like living here? It's okay for me. But my wife and my son, they love it. They love it. For me, I don't like it. Too crowded. What should I try? I think I like beef. Beef? Yeah. The stomach? I don't like it. You don't like stomach? They have a lot of interesting stuff. Yeah, chicken feet, all that. That's good. We are in Chinatown, and we're going to try something I had in Taiwan, bubble tea. So let's dig in. I wanted to order some bottled tea. Nearby, you'll find Little Italy. When Italian immigrants started moving to this Manhattan neighborhood in the late 1800s, they brought their customs, food, and language. Today, however, Little Italy is nothing like it used to be. It's become very touristy and has changed significantly under the influence of Chinatown. I'm leaving today, guys. The famous Amberta Slam House. Food delicious. Are you hungry? I'm Italian. Chelsea is Manhattan's art district, mixing a variety of architectural styles, from elegant 19th century townhouses to housing projects. If you get hungry, go to Chelsea Market. We came to Chelsea Market to get something to eat. It's a wonderful place with lots of options. From what I've learned, it used to be the factory where Oreos were invented in 1912. So, let's check it out. Of course, I got chili. From my time in the South, I learned to really love this dish, so chili soup is my top choice. Tribeca, once home to industrial warehouses, is now the city's richest zip code, with an average income of $879,000 a year and a median home price of $3.8 million. Even Jay-Z once purchased a penthouse here for $6.8 million after trading Brooklyn for Manhattan. Yeah, I'm at the Brooklyn. Now I'm down in Tribeca, right next to De Niro, but I'll be hood forever. Really? Then why'd you move, Jay? Tribeca has it all. Elegant townhouses, modern high-rises, trendy restaurants, and a spectacular view of the Hudson River along its western edge. And finally, Billionaire's Row, a set of super-tall luxury towers on the southern edge of Central Park. The cheapest condo here starts at $3 million, and the most expensive units go for more than $60 million. What are the downsides of Manhattan? Well, there are many homeless people. As of January 2020, New York had an estimated 91,000 people experiencing homelessness on any given day, according to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. While most are peaceful, Random attacks happen far too often. "Sir," "Excuse me," I said. "Sir, during my stay, 2 girls from Russia were attacked and robbed by a mentally unstable homeless person. Another complaint is the bad smells. And yes, that includes marijuana." Another complaint is the bad smells. And yeah, that includes marijuana. It's everywhere. You just can't escape it because honestly, someone walking in front of you will always be lighting up. It's really annoying for someone who isn't a pothead like me. Locals don't seem to notice these problems. A lot of folks just put on headphones and, pretend they're too busy to be bothered. I've seen some awful things. A guy urinating into a bottle right in the middle of the street. Piles of... Don't get me started, okay? These things really shouldn't be happening in a city that claims to be the world's capital. Also, the city seems to be constantly under renovation. Scaffolding is everywhere. Some people say companies install it just to prevent anything from falling on someone's head and protect themselves from potential lawsuits. What about garbage? The city's waste collection system, well, it has these huge garbage bags just piled up on sidewalks waiting to be picked up. Sometimes those piles get really big. They do it this way because Manhattan just doesn't have courtyards, and garbage is only collected several times a week. So, garbage bags can really pile up by the end of the week. One pile here, another pile there, sometimes almost blocking the entrance to a building. Manhattan is full of contrasts. $2 hot dog stands sit side by side with expensive boutiques on Fifth Avenue. Extremely wealthy people walk the same streets as the homeless. Some people might get the impression that Manhattan only has Central Park, and the rest is nothing but a concrete jungle, but that's not true. There are green areas scattered throughout the island, like Bryant Park, located next to the main branch of the New York Public Library. It has a huge lawn where people read newspapers, play ping pong, chess, and bag games. In the winter, it even has a skating rink. Another great park is Madison Square Park, located at the intersection of Broadway and Fifth Avenue, overlooking the Flatiron Building. It's a wonderful place to unwind and enjoy a gelato on a hot summer day or a cup of coffee in the fall. One of the most exciting additions to the city is the High Line. Created in 2009, it's a 1.4-mile-long elevated greenway. It's a unique walkway with spectacular views built on Manhattan's old rail lines. If you're looking for green space in New York City and some architectural inspiration, look no further than the High Line. It's a great example of repurposing old industrial areas into something enjoyable for everyone. Right next to it, you'll find Little Island, located on the Hudson River. It covers 2.4 acres and is supported by 132 pod-shaped structures called tulips, suspended above the water. Featuring shows at a waterside amphitheater, it's a perfect place to unwind, walk around, explore, and listen to live music. A few roads in New York City are far from perfect, much worse than in the rest of the U.S. While in most parts of the U.S. you can manage without a car, New York is an exception. More than 55% of New Yorkers do not have a car. Almost everyone told me not to drive here, which is exactly why I wanted to experience it myself. I had a rental car and wanted to see what it's like being a driver in Manhattan. Street parking in New York is a matter of luck. Most of the time, your safest bet is a parking garage. Day parking can cost as much as $60, and if you forget to pay, the ticket can be hefty. A guy parked next to me received a $120 fine because his parking time had expired. Owning a car in New York City is no joke, especially when it comes to parking. Monthly parking can cost $550, and that's not even counting all the tolls going in and out of Manhattan. They can be as high as $16 one way if you don't have an Easy Pass. Manhattan is an island, So there are many bridges and tunnels such as the Brooklyn Bridge, Manhattan Bridge, and George Washington Bridge, which connects New York to New Jersey. The Lincoln Tunnel, carrying 120,000 vehicles per day, is the busiest car tunnel in the world. New York is also a pretty walkable city, thanks to its grid layout. It's quite bike-friendly too, with more than 1,200 miles of bike lanes and routes. But in New York, you have to watch out not just for cars, but also for cyclists. They are fast and can appear out of nowhere. You might see some, but sometimes you can't, and they could knock you over. When it comes to public transportation, the New York City subway is the largest single-operator rapid transit system in the world, with 472 rail stations. It runs 24/7, which is unusual for major cities. It's the busiest metropolitan rail system in the Western Hemisphere, with 1.7 billion passenger rides in 2015. Grand Central Terminal, also known as Grand Central Station, is the world's largest railway station by number of train platforms. The downside of the subway is that it's neither the cleanest nor the safest. In 2020 alone, there were over 600 robberies, 6 murders, 7 rapes, not to mention countless stabbings and incidents of people being pushed onto the tracks. I don't understand why they can't install platform screen doors like in other countries. Here's a little tip. When traveling in Manhattan, check whether the subway station says uptown or downtown before entering. This way, you know if it's the right direction. Also, you don't need to buy those confusing Metro cards anymore. You can just tap your credit card when entering, which is much more convenient. The most beautiful subway station is the World Trade Center station, designed by architect Santiago Calatrava. From the outside, the structure is known as the Oculus. It looks futuristic and reminded me of a whale skeleton, a magnificent structure resembling some kind of animal, maybe a whale. It took many years to build and faced a lot of criticism from locals because it cost the city a whopping $3.9 billion, when the original cost was supposed to be $2 billion. Nearby there is a memorial to the 9/11 tragedy. It's a forest of wide oak trees with 2 square pools in the center, marking where the Twin Towers once stood. While the World Trade Center Memorial speaks of the past and remembrance, One World Trade Center represents the future and hope. It was first named the Freedom Tower, and honestly, I wish they had kept this name. Today, it is the tallest skyscraper in the United States, and get this, the 6th tallest building in the world by pinnacle height. The building's architect is David Childs, who also designed the Burj Khalifa and the Willis Tower. A section of 5th Avenue alongside Central Park is known as Museum Mile. The Metropolitan Museum of Art, or the Met, is the most visited museum in the United States. Founded in 1870, it's enormous and comprehensive. I imagine it would take days to see everything. My second favorite museum is the American Museum of Natural History. That's another museum I could visit multiple times. There is so much to see: the planetarium, marine life exhibits, and skeletons of huge dinosaurs. This kind of stuff is very interesting to me. Another iconic museum is the Solomon R. Guggenheim Museum. From the outside, it looks spectacular, but that was pretty much all that was interesting. Most galleries were closed at the time of my visit, and the ones that were open, I wasn't impressed. Well, let me just say, I didn't get it. Another must-see is MoMA, the Museum of Modern Art. Beautiful works of art are displayed here, ranging from paintings and large sculptures to photography, cars, and contemporary art. The layout is excellent, with some cool installations. Definitely worth a visit. Some museums were disappointing though, like the Museum of the History of New York. Despite its name, it's not really about the history of New York. Sadly, some museums are no longer impartial. For Museum of the City of New York, I had high expectations. I wanted to see video footage of how they built the skyscrapers in Central Park, all that interesting historical stuff. Instead, I found information about global warming. New York is action-packed. Every night there's something to do. That's the beauty of it. It never gets boring. You can go to a jazz club or a comedy show. We went to a comedy show for $8 a ticket and it was fun. Of course, don't miss the famous Broadway shows and musicals like The Phantom of the Opera, Cats, The Lion King, and many others. My name is Andrew McCaslin. I live in New York City, in Hamilton. I'm originally from Rochester, New York. When asked about 3 things I love about living in New York City, I said the diversity, the nightlife, and the international atmosphere. The food is also great. For 3 things I don't like as much. The noise can get overwhelming, people can be aggressive sometimes, probably because 8.4 million people live here, and maybe the garbage in the streets. Some of my favorite spots in the city include rooftop lounges like LeBain at the Standard Hotel in the Meatpacking District and PhD at the Dream Hotel. Central Park is a must, as is the High Line Walkway and climbing the Vessel. When I think about traditional New York City food, I think about pizza. Make sure you try some real NYC pizza. Welcome to Pinker Street Pizza. Our famous pizza is the Nonna Maria, topped with fresh basil, fresh mozzarella, and olive oil. We've been here for about 16 years. It all started with my uncle, Doug Greenwood, a retired NYPD captain whose dream was to have a pizzeria. After 9/11, he decided to open this place, and we've been running it ever since. Besides pizza, you must try bagels, hot dogs, and baked pretzels. To start the morning like a true New Yorker, I recommend sausage, eggs, and a bagel. It doesn't get better than that. Enough of Manhattan. Let's drive to Brooklyn over the Brooklyn Bridge. Brooklyn is New York's most populated borough, with a population of 2.5 million. Downtown Brooklyn is the 3rd largest central business district in New York, after Midtown and Lower Manhattan. However, it's considered one of the least safe neighborhoods, and there isn't much to do here, so you might as well skip it. Dumbo was originally a fairy tale-like area with industrial and warehouse buildings. It has been redeveloped into an upscale residential and commercial community, becoming a haven for art galleries and a center for technology startups. Dumbo was featured prominently in the Sergio Leone film Once Upon a Time in America as the location for many of its scenes. Visitors can enjoy lush green lawns, plenty of seating, and miles of walking and running trails. This is Jane's Carousel, built in 1922. It was recently restored and is expected to reopen soon. Just imagine, this carousel is almost 100 years old. Williamsburg is another hip neighborhood in Brooklyn, experiencing steady growth in gentrification. Former warehouses and factories have been repurposed, and now the area draws a trendy crowd to its fancy boutiques, cafes, and restaurants, while the waterfront provides stunning views of Manhattan. Nearby is Domino Park, which spans a quarter-mile along the East River near the Williamsburg Bridge. We are in Domino Park, located in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, where you can get this iconic view. Here, you'll find children's playgrounds, volleyball courts, and an elevated walkway that extends much of the length of the park, resembling the interior of the old refinery. New York City is home to hundreds of different languages and a variety of communities. Yes, it's a melting pot, but only to a certain extent. Most neighborhoods are dominated by a specific ethnicity, which makes sense because people often prefer to live near others who share a similar cultural background. Let's visit a Jewish area in Brooklyn called Borough Park. The first thing you notice is the abundance of young mothers with strollers. The fertility rate among Orthodox Jews is actually one of the highest in the world, averaging about 6.5 children per woman. For comparison, in Europe, the average is just 1.6. We talked to some locals. What part of town are we in? You're in the Borough Park section of Brooklyn. And what's it famous for? Jewish neighborhood. What do you like most about living here? Well, it's the community. We're tight-knit, friendly to each other, and we know one another. This has been home for the past 50 to 60 years. This is more for outdoor wear, and this is for indoors. Because observant Jewish men always wear something to show their devotion to God. Women, especially married women, cover their hair. You go to synagogue every day? Every day. Saturday services are longer because that's our day of rest. Jewish males, men and boys over 13 pray 3 times a day. As a Russian, I naturally wanted to visit the Russian-speaking community known as Brighton Beach, in the southern part of Brooklyn. It features a 5-kilometer-long boardwalk along a sandy beach. It's a peaceful and quiet area. Brighton Beach has been a Russian-speaking district since the 1970s. It feels unusual to be surrounded by people speaking Russian while in America. Brighton Beach is directly connected to Coney Island, which was once the largest entertainment center in the United States. Today, Coney Island is mostly residential and home to New York's largest Arab diaspora. Although the rides at the local Luna Park are a bit dated, every summer locals and tourists flock to the beach. Moving on, Queens is the largest borough of New York by area, with a population of 2.3 million. It is home to the city's second-largest Chinatown, located in Flushing. Flushing offers a good standard of living, with restaurants, inexpensive shopping, and convenient transportation. So my question is, why are there so many Asian people in this part of Queens? Because people like living here. It's so convenient. It looks like China, you know? They even call it a Chinatown. Feels like Chinatown. Yeah, they can buy Chinese food here, shop in Chinese stores, and even see a Chinese doctor here. Is this neighborhood safe to live in? Not at night. We worry about nighttime. It's not safe to go out. But daytime is okay. All right. Nighttime is scary because there are too many risks. Now there's been a lot of residential construction here. My friend Addie lives in a modern apartment complex and rents a 2-bedroom apartment for $3,300 a month. This might seem expensive, but it comes with a swimming pool, a few tennis courts, and it's only 30 minutes away from Manhattan by subway. Queens is also the site of Citi Field, the baseball stadium of the New York Mets. 2 of the 3 busiest airports serving the New York metropolitan area, JFK and LaGuardia, are also located in Queens. The Bronx is the 3rd largest borough in New York, with a population of 1.5 million. Parts of the Bronx saw a decline in population, livable housing, and quality of life in the late 1960s, culminating in a wave of arson in the late 1970s. The South Bronx, in particular, experienced severe urban decay. The Bronx is the birthplace of hip-hop music and culture. It is also home to the New York Yankees baseball team and their home field, Yankee Stadium. The famous Joker Stairs are also located here. Staten Island is the least populated of the boroughs, home to 500,000 New Yorkers. It's the most remote borough from Manhattan and more reminiscent of American small towns. It is sometimes called the Forgotten Borough. So, just how dangerous is New York, you might wonder? Well, it's not as bad as some other American cities, but, you know, it can be pretty dangerous. Recently, the city has been experiencing a surge in crime. In fact, while we were in the city, 3 innocent bystanders were shot in Times Square by a lunatic. It's kinda wild. Historically, the boroughs of Manhattan and Staten Island have had lower crime rates, but the Bronx, on the other hand, has consistently had the highest homicide rate. The NYPD Detectives Union recently blamed left-leaning Democrats for a New York City crime wave, saying, quote, "Dangerous policies like immediate release are putting violent suspects back onto the streets within hours of committing a crime. When I tried to interview cops, they just laughed. But, off the record, they were saying the same thing. Too many criminals get released as soon as they're caught." It's no surprise that living in New York City is expensive. Rent prices here are 37% higher than in Los Angeles and almost 80% higher than in Chicago. Manhattan's average rental cost is $4,200 for a 700 square foot apartment. Brooklyn's average rental cost is $2,900, with an average apartment size of 651 square feet. New York real estate is a magnet for wealthy people, so there's no shortage of fancy mansions outside of the city. Buyers come from all over the world, China, Russia, and other countries where freedom has been jeopardized. Some of these neighborhoods don't even feel American anymore. Weird, right? I visited one of those neighborhoods. A famous Russian TV host recently bought a mansion there for $7 million. What's outside of New York City? Few visitors ever get a chance to explore beyond the city, which is a shame. Just an hour's drive away, you can find yourself surrounded by mountains, national parks, lakes, vineyards, apple orchards, and golf courses. There are plenty of places to go. Hudson Valley is one of them and is a popular weekend getaway. Not many people know that New York enjoys a warm and humid subtropical climate, similar to Rome, Italy. Just an hour and a half away, you reach Bear Mountain. Here you can hike to the top and back in about 3 hours, have a picnic, or go swimming. So, what makes New York City a great place to live? While there are many downsides, there's no other city in the world with the same energy. The fast pace, buzzing traffic, and crowds of people. You never run out of things to do, new foods to try, places to visit, or people to meet. New York offers opportunities for ambitious, hardworking, and creative people who want to succeed in finance, fashion, and other industries. They say, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. And it's true. The sky is the limit. New York has more billionaires than any other city in the world. In 2021, 99 billionaires lived here. The city has been shaped by waves of immigrants and is still home to over 3.22 million foreign-born residents, the largest foreign-born population of any city in the world. Let me know what you think about New York City, and I'll see you in my next video.